Caution. Entertainment Banter uses language that might be inappropriate for some listeners, and as always, no smoking is allowed during the pod. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Entertainment Banter. My name is Joel.
And I'm Matt.
And Matt's...
Yes.
Fuck. This pod is going
You're
to...
so great. You're so great. You always do wonderful intros. Thank you.
The intro is done. We moved on.
Yeah, we have.
Well,
we moved
what
on?
else? What else was I
don't know.
supposed to do?
What are we talking about today,
There is
Joel?
nothing else
What are we
more to
talking
this, you know.
There is nothing else. Thank you for listening. All right, what
Stay
is it,
tuned,
buddy?
everybody. I want to do
Stay
a
tuned.
shameless plug. We are going to have merch
Okay.
soon for everybody to buy.
You're so funny. All right,
Matt,
all right.
Matt's mom.
Come next. We're starting New Year fresh.
Mrs.
New Year
Mrs.
fresh.
Matt's mom. I hope you enjoy the
Yeah.
merch we make.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
And
it'll be
you
coming
buy
out
you
next
buy
year.
it just to give to your son for Christmas.
Right, it'll be the only gift I get. Yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
by January-ish, we should have a store up and running, right?
Yeah, it should
That's
be
the
good.
plan?
Yeah, that's the
Right.
plan. We'll
Lots
get
of
all
things.
There'll
Lots
be
of things
cap
coming.
guns, and we'll be selling the Declaration of Independence. You know, copies of it. It'll be great. You'll
No,
have
we're gonna
entertainment banter.
No,
logos on
I'm
the top.
glad you said copies, just in case people didn't know.
Not
you
the
were gonna
actual.
yeah.
Not the actual. Yeah, this
Yeah,
isn't.
okay.
What was it? What was that movie with Nick Cage? The
National
Disney
Treasure.
one. Thank you. Yeah.
I still remember when you mentioned that American Dad episode where Roger, not Roger,
Yeah.
Klaus the fish is talking to Stan about how everyone has bad days and bad
Right.
decisions, and he mentions Nick Cage and go, look at how many bad decisions Nick Cage, and then he nailed it with National Treasure
Right.
2.
Right.
Two, not the first one, two.
Right.
The greatest movie ever made.
Right. Oh, that's so funny. That's not fair to Nick Cage. I liked him in The Rock. You know, with
Every
Sean
time
Connery.
I look at Nick
It was
Cage
fun, campy
as like
fun.
the man version of Nickelback. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, that's fair to some extent. He's a nicer version, I think. You know, but then he faced off with John Travolta. That was back when John Travolta was getting cast as all the bad guys, the really cool bad guys. You know, back then in the 90s. Was it 90s or early 2000s?
Early
It was
2000s. Early 2000s.
Was it really early 2000s?
Like John
Wow.
Travolta was the villain in Punisher.
Yeah, he like got all the villain roles
was
and
in
like.
villain in Swordfish.
And then
Halle
Broken
Berry.
Arrow, he was the villain, you know, with
Broken
Christian
Arrow.
Slater. Poor Christian
Yeah.
Slater. Was Broken Arrow the last film he did?
I don't know, but wait, what was Nick Cage mirrored to John Travolta? Like, I don't understand. He didn't-
That was Face Off. Face
I
Off.
wouldn't even. Oh,
Face Off,
right.
man.
I mean,
John Woo, man. I think it was John Woo that did that.
I honestly think one of Nick Cage's best movies was Lord of War. Did you like Lord of War?
I actually have not seen that. I have not seen that
I
one.
do. I did like Lord of War quite a bit.
You don't like
actually.
Gone in 60 Seconds or Ghost Rider?
To be honest, I like the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds better than the original. Even though in the original, if you're paying attention to the last car scene, the car chase with Eleanor, there is a dealership, a Mazda dealership they drive by, and
Okay.
there's a lot full of RX 4s and RX 3s.
Of course, that's why you like it. That's
old
part of the
school-
film, right?
The old
Yeah,
school
yeah,
rotaries.
yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, I hear
really
ya.
cool to see that. But I mean, back in those days, those were just normal cars, and now you look at it like, oh, you can't get those anymore.
I don't consider
Can't
those
find
normal
that.
cars. Those are pretty cool to look at, you know?
No,
This-
back in the day, they were sold as
Oh, back in the
Camrys.
day, yeah. I know
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
the day, yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, my parents weren't buying that. They weren't buying those. They were buying like the
Because
I
it
forgot
had
what
that
it was called.
rotary engine, they were
Right.
scared of it.
Right.
But no, Nick, I
Um,
mean, actually, that movie, Gone in 60 Seconds, was my first introduction to Angelina Jolie, and I thought she was attractive when she was blonde. As soon as she left that movie and did other things, and all of a sudden got an identity of her
Well,
own,
Tomb
I don't
Raider
know
came
what it
out
was.
around that time too.
Yeah,
Tomb Raider,
it was
and
Tomb Raider was awful.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind Tomb Raider. I was not a PlayStation guy at the time, so like I knew of Tomb
Neither
Raider
was-
games
yeah.
and stuff.
Me too.
But I thought it was a fun ride. I would put it in the same category as like the Scorpion game, where it's like I don't take
Wait.
anything serious in it. You know what I mean? Like I would just
Matt,
I'm
you-
literally watching
you-
it for a fun ride. There's
You
no
went-
way in hell this is going
You
to win
went
any
for the
Academy Awards.
boobs. You went for the boobs.
No,
and
no,
you
no.
stayed for the guns.
You know what? I actually I actually liked the I know you're gonna make fun of me, but I'm a soundtrack guy. I actually liked the soundtrack to
To
first
Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah, it was a cool soundtrack to it.
But I feel like she was not attractive as soon as she came out of that. I mean, I guess it goes to that theory that blondes are more attractive than brunettes. but I don't
Or they have
know.
more fun. I don't know. That's
I
the
don't know what it
stereotype of that.
is.
They have more
Yeah,
fun.
like they get more attention. It's just like how red cars get pulled over more on the freeway
Yeah,
compared to white and
exactly.
black
Yeah,
cars.
right. Even if it's like an old like station wagon, somehow they'll get pulled over as a black Corvette drives by or something.
Oh no, it's no shit. Like
Yeah.
red, it has been proven fact that red or flashy cars that stand out because when you're driving along, the average car is white or black or gray, right? As you drive, when you
Yes.
speed, a cop's like, was it that car? I'm not sure if it was that car, but if it's a red car, that one, that was it.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the
That
one that
was
did
it.
it. Marked it.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
Go back to Nick Cage real quick. I have to say, my
Sure.
son has been watching Spider-Verse. I enjoy the film. I think it's very well written. And
Wait, is Nick Cage in Spider Verse?
he is. He plays Spider-Noir, man, and it's great.
No shit.
Yeah, he's fun. Yeah, I love listening to him. He
No
does a great
shit.
job playing that role.
That is a good role for him because you don't even know who it is.
Yeah, but I mean, but his personality. I mean, I picture him every time he says the lines. Like
Oh
I
my
picture
God.
Peter Parker,
Peter
Piker,
Parker.
what the fuck? Peter Pecker, Peter
Pecker.
Pecker.
His pecker
I,
sense.
I picture Nick Cage as Peter Parker. It's pretty cool. The Spider-Noir, whatever his name is.
You
I don't know if
what?
Spider-Noir is actually Peter or not, to be honest.
As
with you.
you're
I'm not
saying
much
that,
fan.
you know how they were talking about how Tobey Maguire can now play Spider-Man as a college professor now and all that shit because that's his
Yeah.
like future years of
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man. But Nick Cage, I think, could do it pretty well.
Yeah, but I mean, he's bald. I don't know if Peter went bald in the comics.
Wait, is he bald now in like real life?
I mean, I don't know if he's bald, but I mean, he was like balding when he was doing The Rock. You know, he's got that Bruce Willis receding hairline thing going.
Did you know my mom back in the day when she was claiming that I had male pattern baldness?
Yeah.
Back when I was in like
Back
high
when she had
school.
that
I think
when
in
you stuck
high
your head in the
school.
microwave.
Whatever, when she shaved
Yeah.
my head. No, she liked to mention because I would be searching on things and trying to research like, oh, there's all these because I got worried at every male when they think they're having male pattern baldness happen, they go through the stage of
Depression.
no, you go through the stage of research and like denial, I guess, that it's happening.
Sure.
So you're trying to
You
look
want it
for
to stop.
right. You're looking for something to correct it and everything, and you keep thinking like technology is almost there. Technology is almost there. We don't really have a cure for
I use a
cancer.
Sharpie.
We don't have a cure for cancer. We don't have a cure for AIDS. We don't have a cure for hunger in the world. But let's look up how to make dogs glow in the dark and male pattern baldness. Right?
Sure.
So
Two top things I look up every day.
so my mom goes just randomly now since she knew that I was like a little worried. So I look up things. She just thinks we watch TV, we watch movies, and she goes, "That guy's bald." With all the money he has, don't you think he would have done the same research? If it was there, why is anyone bald in Hollywood then? So then that made me start questioning things like, wait, is she on to something? It wasn't until we started working at Disneyland,
Right.
when you and I crossed paths there once or
Cross
twice
paths a long time ago.
in an old chapter of our lives, and probably in another book.
Yes, that will be
I
on the
started
store of
realizing-
Entertainment Banter.
Right, I started realizing that we all had great dental there. We had good dental, right?
Yes, back in the day, yes.
But then you looked at some of our coworkers, their teeth were fucked up, and you're like, we have really good dental. There's no excuse for that. And then like, oh, I don't have time. No, bitch, you don't do the overtime like I do. You have plenty of time to get that shit fixed.
Oh my god.
So then I
you're
think
cracking
like
me
that
up.
could be the same thing with with bald people in Hollywood. They either then I started realizing like they probably like being bald. 'Cause a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
was gonna
people
say
shave
it's a
their
look.
head.
It's their look. Yeah.
Absolutely. Or two, they just don't give a shit, and
That would be it too.
they're like, I don't have the time. I work too much. No, you just don't care. So it's not back when I was younger, I figured, oh, mom's gone to something. These people are going bald. Maybe the technology isn't there and it's all bullshit. But it's just expensive. It's not really that expensive anymore.
Yeah, no, you just have to transplant hair on your ass, on your head, and problem solved.
I have a hairy ass.
Well, there you go. There's half the battle right there.
So we're gonna stick on Nick Cage, I guess. What do we?
No, wait. We've been talking for like 10 minutes about friggin'
Nick
I don't
Cage.
know.
Nick Cage. Baby.
Why are we talking about Nick Cage?
Nick Cage, honey.
Is this really gonna be about Nick Cage?
I don't know. I don't even know how we got onto Nick Cage in the first
I
place,
don't
but
know
this is what we're
either.
talking about.
I don't want to talk about Nick Cage anymore. This is not what the pod was supposed to be about.
Do you not like Nick Cage?
We've got 10 minutes left. He's a white male. I don't like any white males right now.
Is that how you're gonna lead into this? Matt's actually getting a sex change. This is how
I am.
he's telling everybody.
And I'm gonna get that controversial pigment change like they did
Can
in
you
Tropic Thunder.
can you keep your damn name similar? Like I hate when people go like, "Oh, my name's Dan. It's gonna be Amy now." No,
No,
that's
it's
too
gonna be Nicky
different.
Cage. Nicky
No, I
Cage.
want you to be if your name's Matthew, it needs to be like Matricia or something like
That
close. Like
sounds terrible.
so I can still call
Patricia
you
sounds
Matt.
terrible.
Well, I can still call you Matt.
Yeah, Maddie. Call me Maddie. That sounds pretty gender neutral.
But is that the full name?
I guess it's gonna have to be, right? That's where we're going. Anyways, why are we talking about
Are
this?
you gonna
film?
get post-op? Are you gonna get the chop? You gonna chop
I
it?
don't know yet. You know,
Because you
like,
said you hate white males. I figured you're just gonna get rid
yeah,
of.
I do. I
your
do. I
white
hate them.
maleness.
I wish they'd go back and destroy every white male hero in the last 40 years in Hollywood. I think if they did that, I would feel better about myself.
I feel like you're trying to correct your accent. He had a gnarly accent before we started this pod, and it sounded like a Mark Wahlberg. And I think
I do try to hide it every once in a while.
you do.
Yeah.
Everyone in New England. I don't know why they call it New England.
Sounds like Mark Wahlberg, apparently, according to Joel.
In the first part of
Mark,
America.
it's the Mark Wahlberg accent.
I'm renaming New England to the first colonies
Mark
of America.
Wahlberg.
First colonies of America. You're the first colonies of America. Why are we trying to keep New England? Why England? Get rid of that shit. We don't care about them anymore. Do we?
New England?
I don't know.
I'd be
No.
careful. There's a lot of New England people that will kick a lot of people's asses.
There we
Just
go.
letting
There
you
it
know.
is. There we go.
Yeah. No. All right. Anyways.
No, the original conversation for this pod has sparked us to
we
start
got 8
talking.
minutes, so you got to talk quick.
Yeah, that's fine. Was about the new 007 movie that's coming out, or
It's coming out. It
Is
is
it
out
out?
today.
It's out today.
Yeah.
And Matt listens to another podcast on YouTube. He cheats on us. I know he can't listen to the same dribble
I
every day.
I like to hear what everybody else is saying every
Of
once in a
course,
while.
you're looking at the competition. You're looking at how their pods. Your research. It's fair.
Jealous of their budgets, you know.
And their followings. Yeah, because his just a picture and he talks.
I
He
mean, I
wears
only
a
got
mask.
my mother. I've only got my no. Don't say anything. Just don't leave it up to speculation. No, we only have one listener, my ma. But anyways, keep going. Let's
You're
go.
gonna bleep that out then?
No, I'm not gonna bleep it out. Just I don't want to because I don't want to be associated with these
shameful potty.
individuals.
Right.
I don't want to be associated. We're our own thing.
So this
They say stuff that we don't always agree with. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. No, we're not. He Matt and I have not seen this movie, and he had me listen to this. Conversation.
the rumors and all
But
this have been going
the
on
rumors,
forever.
I have not. The only
And
rumor I knew
reshoots.
about was the female Bond. So if you don't want us to spoil anything for
Spoilers.
you,
Lots of
this will
spoilers.
be some spoilers for you from 007, the
Yeah.
new movie. And so I'm just going to straight out and say, but what we know from the rumors and what we know from the trailers and what we know from this guy's broadcast is 007 dies in this movie. But before he does, it gets handed down to a female James Bond, like, because James Bond and 007 is, we find out in this movie as well, I believe, and it's been rumored to be going to be like this for a while, and everyone speculated, and I think it was in the books too, that James Bond and 007 are actually just code names.
Yeah, well,
So
I know the 007 is the status. He's a 00.
Right.
And then James Bond, I don't know if his name is actually James Bond or not in the books. I've never read them, so I don't know.
Right. So I think this is their way to shamelessly attach all the 007s together.
Okay.
That's what I believe. I think you find that on this movie as well, but I don't know. All I know is that this guy was really upset that James Bond dies and a female Bond takes the place, but then she got given the 007 number, but apparently at the end of the movie or something, it was taken away. And my understanding is possibly it gets taken away because the actual 007 dies, so they had to retire the number in a sense.
Oh, I don't know. See, that's all speculation.
I don't know. That's all
Yeah.
speculation.
But
I don't know.
here's I can tell you what really happened though. Like they wrote a script and then word got out, and you know, as test markets go and as people talked more and more about it, in the woke culture that we currently in with Hollywood, people that go woke are going broke. Their movies are tanking. They're not making the money that they're supposed to be making. They're making the beds with the wrong things, like a Space Jam, for crying out loud. Like, you know, you got LeBron James, a star. At one point, if they had done it when he was playing with Cleveland, they would have made bank. But now that he's with Lakers and he's doing all this protesting, no one gives a shit about LeBron James in a Space Jam movie.
He also shouldn't act. Can we go back to how NBA?
Well,
players
that's a
shouldn't?
given, right? That's a given. But anyways, which is too bad because I LeBron, I stood up for him. He had a bad reputation, like Charles Barkley back in the day. I don't even want to compare to Charles Barkley. I like Charles Barkley a lot better. But anyways, LeBron had a bad reputation, and then like I remember, I think it was when he was playing with the Cavs. He turned it around. He was more quiet. He wasn't mouthing off as much, and he won that city a championship, and first time in I don't know how long. And I actually was very happy for him. I was happy for the city of Cleveland. To me, I thought that was meaningful. And then after that, his head gets too big. He's buying expensive cars, and he's talking about how Black Lives Matter. But instead of giving back to the community, he's just buying his expensive cars and telling people how shitty they are as he takes a knee.
Right.
So,
he needs to put the money where the mouth is.
Right. So so now he's in a Looney Tunes movie. Congratulations, Warner Brothers. You picked the quote unquote GOAT, which is not true. Jordan's the GOAT. And always will be the GOAT. I don't care what anybody says. But anyways,
between
whatever.
Kobe and Jordan. But anyways,
right. So long story short,
Kobe would have been great for that movie.
When
Rest
when
in peace.
people, when most Kobe would have been an interesting choice. When most people heard that Bond was going to be replaced by a female, because it's been a predominantly male character, predominantly action movie for males.
Sure.
People got upset. And so I think they started doing rewrites, they started doing reshoots, and they changed the story. That's why some people are saying this story is choppy. Joel and I have not seen it yet.
We have not seen it.
I'm hesitant to see it because
I didn't
it's
see the
not
one
even
before this.
I actually like the Daniel Craig films. I always thought
I
he was like
do too.
the psycho action Bond, right? Each one has its own personalities. I think we've talked about it in the past. But what I liked about this Bond is I think, I got to go back and check, but I think all of his Bonds, ironically, have been the first 5 stories of Albert, what's-his-face's books. So, like, they're actually the first stories of Bond, which is kind of interesting,
Yeah, because I believe Casino Royale was the first Bond story.
Right. So it makes sense that he kind of was like, so I knew it's out of context, but he's like what Bond would have been doing first. Becoming the 00 and everything,
that's
and
why
seeing all the transfer.
It's
a lot of the movies are backstories,
right? And it kind of feels like that's why he's a little sloppier than newer Bonds are more smooth.
Sure,
that's why he's
exactly.
more like he fucks up more in a sense, and
he's
learning to be.
But
that's all speculation, though.
It's all Well, I hesitate to see this movie now, not because of placing Bond with a woman. I don't care. Like if that's where people want, if people are begging and pleading for years to have Bond be a female. All right, they got it. Congratulations. Whatever. I don't care. But what I don't like is when Hollywood picks some sort of agenda, whether it's good, bad, whether you like it or disagree with it, and then backpedal, then take the film on the cutting room floor and literally chop it into 1,000 million pieces and have 9 different versions, splice some shitty-ass version together, and then expect it to make sense, and like the continuity's off, certain things are happening that are wrong. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened here because I haven't seen it. But I do know that the production did do some reshoots and some reworks, and
it's
that's
very
what they did
common
with Skywalker,
for a lot of
Skywalker.
movies. A lot of movies commonly get reshoots, though.
It's true, but I don't feel like that's really been the case in the past. I could be wrong, but like look at this, like back in my day when I was growing up, and say Indiana Jones was coming out.
1930s.
1930s, Matt, Indiana Jones, Last Crusade coming out. We did not have the social campaigns that we do now. There was no internet. There was no Facebook. There was no way for fans to
not even
to be
MySpace.
You know what I mean? Like pictures couldn't really be leaked easily.
No.
No one knew what the hell the movie was going to be about. All you got was like a fucking picture on a McDonald's Happy Meal box. You got maybe a poster that you could speculate. Ooh, what are those characters going to be?
And
who are they going to be?
And the trailers you got were only in movie theaters, and they were kind of.
And sometimes those trailers would change a little bit. Sometimes they would change a little bit.
Well, a lot of the times the trailers showed what you weren't going to see in the movie.
Yeah, right. And so that's it. You didn't have any idea what the movie was about. Nowadays, it's like, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or why. I don't care. I mean, even if they are, they're fucking morons. But, like, they're just constantly showing people. It's almost like, we're going to make this bad. So let's just test with people. Oh, yeah, it's bad. Oh, wait, now it's going to cost us money. Oh, well, let's see how far we can stretch it. No, let's tone it down a little bit. Okay, well, let's take this away. And that doesn't even include, like, the ridiculous stuff of COVID or anything else like you have to work around. You know what I mean? And like and any other things that might transpire on people getting injured or knocked up, or take your pick. I mean, it's just like, um,
we're just speculating about this. I mean, you're seeing a
well,
pattern, but I'd have to go see the movie. I would be honest with you. My dad would probably like it still.
I've
And then my
always
dad
been a
was a
fan of Bond films.
huge Bond fan.
Yeah.
So I'd be very
Well,
curious of what he would have thought about the movie. And to be honest, if my brothers see it and they like it, it's a good. They have my dad's taste,
sure.
disgustingly enough, more than I do. And I'm pretty sure if they said they'd like it or whatever, my dad would probably be like, "Yeah, I enjoyed it." I mean, even though my dad was a very big, adamant Star Wars fan, and he said that Star Wars died in the '80s, where it should.
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
asked him, "Are you really excited they stay Star Wars Land?" He goes, "Son, Star Wars died in the '80s." And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. I mean, that's how a lot of fans see it. But then he enjoyed episode 1, 2, and 3. He
Sure.
enjoyed 7, 8, 9. He would enjoy Star Wars Land. I mean, even though he feels like his version of Star Wars died,
Right. Right.
he still appreciates the new. So
Right. Well,
he'd probably still appreciate. He probably considered 007 died with Pierce Brosnan, to be honest.
no, some people might think that. I remember when he left, I was like, "There's no one that can replace him." I
Right,
mean, and
right.
it changes over and over again. Not that he was freaking amazing. But I think what I liked about Pierce Brosnan is we had a hiatus from Bond. Like we didn't have Bond for a few years, and
We
so
didn't.
when
We had Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yeah.
Austin Powers, baby.
but when he came back, it was big because like it was the first Bond movie. It was exciting, and it was the first Bond movie that had like quote unquote modern problems and issues and cooler technology and gadgets and
What, Casino Royale?
no Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, Pierce.
Like
Oh,
and
okay.
because there had been an hiatus where there's been no Bonds or
Touche.
um,
Yeah.
and then GoldenEye the game came out. And so like it was like
Right.
a really reinvention of Bond. And I enjoyed a lot of his Bond villains. It was like the last colorful character Bond villains. Does that make sense? Like guys
Yeah,
with diamonds embedded in their faces, kind of like
it's
Jaws and Odd
it's
Job and all that.
well, 007 is where a lot of those jokes come from. Like, let me explain my evil plan to you
Right, of
before
course, right.
as a laser's going to
Monologuing.
cut you in half,
Right,
and then
right.
somehow you get saved. Like it was that Bond crit gave that evil villain feel of like I'm going to take over the world, and like no one does that. Who takes over? I mean,
Right.
the person who got close was Hitler, and I don't know if that's what he's thinking. Like we're going to take over the world. I think more like he was insane and he wanted to just have territory.
Yeah.
But
Well, we were talking about two things. I know time is short because we talked so much about Nick Cage, but I wanted to
Nick
say
Cage?
we were offset. We were talking about two things. One is, I think what stemmed this conversation originally was like I made the comment to Joel. It's like they're just obliterating every male role model from the last 40 years, like action role models, and
I don't disagree that's what they're doing. I just disagree with the message of why they're doing it. Because, like I
Fair
told
enough.
you, the reason why, when I heard that 007 dies, I'm like, I bet you that's a very sentimental scene because one of my favorite comics
yes,
is
I was just
Spider-Man.
gonna say bring that up.
Spider-Man is one of my all-time favorite comic
We're
book
well aware.
heroes. Everything.
Yeah.
Like, he is like, I consider myself, I want to be Spider-Man kind of thing. I feel it. And my favorite comic series is
I'll get you a spider to bite you.
Please one that's radioactive. The ultimate comic book series, the first few comics of it is because when Peter Parker dies.
Yeah,
That's very he
A young
dies.
Peter Parker.
16, Tom Holland. He dies.
he is so dumb.
Go listen to our Spider-Man podcast. Go back. Predictions of
Right.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Anyways, no, not a shameless plug. And when he dies, it's just like, to me, that's the hero story. He died
Right.
being a hero.
Well, you saw a beginning, middle, and end. You actually see an end.
You see an end, and I like when things come to an end, and it comes to a good end, and then it still continues with Miles. I didn't read the Miles portion of the I do appreciate Miles as Spider-Man. It's just I like the death of Spider-Man.
Sure.
And just like how it said really well in Dark Knight as Batman with
Christian Bale.
it's Christian Bale's movie, but what's his name? Two-Face. I forget
Alfred.
his-
Oh,
no.
Two-Faced. Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent, when he says like, do you die the hero or do you live long enough to see yourself become the villain? And I think
Right.
that's just like the same concept of quality over quantity, and it's just nice to see a good end to a good hero.
So you think that we're
Death of
bringing this back
Wolverine's
to Bond.
another. Death of Wolverine or Old Man
I
Logan
was
2 are also
disappointed in
very
that.
good.
I was disappointed in that.
Well, the Death
comic,
of
by the way.
Wolverine was an awful comic. 'Cause he died with adamantium, but Old Man
Yeah.
Logan was a good fitting end to an old.
Does he
meme
die in
too.
Old Man Logan? I haven't read that.
Technically, no, but in
Okay.
the movie, yes.
Yeah. Right. Gotcha.
Right.
So bringing it back to Bond, final thoughts here. So my final thought is, I've always enjoyed Bond films. I will see this film, but I'm getting really fucking tired of watching my favorite heroes just. I'd rather them fucking rot away in a goddamn nursing home than
Well,
I'd like to see the last Indiana Jones movie, him in a nursing home, like just looking out the window and falling asleep and not waking up, compared to them just constantly destroying our heroes after heroes in these stupid ass like versions of these films. But having said that, we have not, out of all the Bond movies that have existed, we have not seen Bond die. And
no,
I
we
guess at
have
some
not.
point we should hear that story, right? So, I mean, I don't care who takes on the mantle afterwards, but it's one of those situations where it's like, I guess I'll leave my final thought with a question. You can answer it and do yours. Do we want to see Bond die? I mean, like, does it ruin Bond?
The
Because
stigma.
the whole point is he gets out of every ridiculous scrape. It's like same thing with Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise. The real Mission
You
Impossible
know he's
is
not gonna
how
die.
is he gonna make another film? Like it's
Yeah.
impossible. He's gonna keep making this franchise go, but he does. The Mission Impossible continues. But like no joking. All joking aside, like I mean, if Tom Cruise kills himself in a film of Mission Impossible, he just destroyed his franchise. If he wants to retire, then do it by all means. But I mean, it kind of defeats the point of going to see it. Like we know Mission Impossible, we know Bond. They're gonna get into a big pile of poo poo, and they have to get out of it. And it doesn't look like they can. But at the last minute, they do, because that's who they are. That's what we paid to see. This time, we don't get to see that. And
Well, we don't
what do
know
you
what
think?
happened. We don't know what happened. Well, to answer
Well-
your question with another question, I mean,
do you want to see him
would
die?
you-
Does it
would you
ruin it
want-
for you?
the thing is, with Mission Impossible, with Tom Cruise, him dying, would that destroy the franchise? I don't know. I mean, we've seen so much already. The Impossible, Mission Probable, who knows? But I can't answer that. I don't know. I can't answer for a lot of 007 fans because I'm not.
No, I'm not. I'm saying you.
I'm not
I mean,
a hardcore.
is it something that you
I
want to
think
see?
I would be interested in seeing that he dies because I've seen so many movies where the hero always makes it, and it's becoming old. It's one of the reasons why Game of Thrones became what it was, because he killed off every main character he possibly fucking could, and it was just like heartbreaking. But people kept coming back because it's like, do I like this person? I don't know. Every time I like this person, they die. Oh, is it a
Right.
Stark? So.
Well, I think. I mean,
So
I don't disagree
it's
with your
just-
statement. I think a lot of characters that are good do die. They do make the ultimate sacrifice. So-
Right. It's
So, I
very,
mean, to me, that's why it's different. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
I don't know how to
interesting. It's interesting times. It's interesting stories are being told. I think we are at a time where you're at an age where you feel like you're your dad's age, and you're like, well, he didn't get these movies, and it's like, no, he didn't. He got the earlier movies that you grew up with. So now we're getting the movies that are coming, maybe conclusions to some of these characters. Maybe they want to push forward and try something different because it's been the same
Right.
chemistry. But so my argument is like, yeah, maybe they're killing off a lot of these white male chauvinists, as you put it. But maybe
their history. Look,
that's
all I'm
fine.
saying is that
they're
it doesn't have to be
historic
their-
figures. Sure, they're
It
historic
doesn't have to
figures.
be white.
That's
Doesn't have to
fine.
be
They're
white.
killing
I'm
off
just
historic
saying
figures. Yeah. No, I
historical
get you.
figures.
They're killing off historic figures, but at the
I
same
will
time,
say male. I will
isn't-
say male.
Sure,
because
sure.
male,
Fine.
it's like an
Fine.
action film, right?
Fine.
Like I'm not gonna go kill
Fine.
off Julia Roberts and watch Pretty Man. Do you know what I'm
Fine,
saying?
Fine. No, that's fine. But they're killing them off now. But you can't. We're just getting one movie at that right now. You can't. I feel like you can't say anything unless they keep doing it. You know what I mean? You got to see what comes.
They have
from
been
it.
keep doing it though.
No,
they've
with
been
different,
doing it
not,
with every franchise.
That's the thing. You can't. Yes, I see where you're coming with it, but you got to see what they do with the same franchise and see what happens. You know what
Well,
I mean?
you know what's gonna. I can tell you what's gonna happen. It's gonna tank. Look at Star Wars. they already are ignoring it. They said we're not going to acknowledge the
That's
three movies
fair.
they just
That's
made.
fine. But maybe this movie does well, and maybe certain people aren't going to like it. You're not going to make a movie. You know, everybody hates us, Matt. So
Doctor Who's failed. Star
right.
Trek is
So
failing.
that's fine. Then it fails, and then they don't hit the. What they're doing is they're trying to take or they already have their targeted audience, the whatever audience that is, right? I'm not trying to like dictate whose audience is watching what, but they already had
Right.
one audience, so now they're trying to grab another set of audience. But since
Right.
another set of audience is a smaller demographic, it alienates
Right.
the other demographic, and then
Well,
it doesn't do well. So
well, we talked about that though. We didn't
right,
we
we
list
have.
examples? Didn't we list examples where they did it right? Where they did it right? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Right off the top of my
there
head.
are a few things that they did it right. I mean, you got to go research back to our 157 pods we have.
Right. Well, I mean, I'll talk Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast, the Disney movie, live action, real fast.
Sure.
They have a musical on Broadway. They have the original animated feature.
There's no
They
musical
even
on
have,
Broadway yet. It's going back to it.
No, they had a musical on Broadway.
Oh, they had. Sorry.
Right,
it's
right.
Not
So they
announced.
had a musical on Broadway.
Is it
They're
announced
going to
yet?
have another musical on Broadway, maybe. And I don't know where I would know that. And then also, they have an animated movie. I said it's like 9 times, and then they have other
Okay.
animated movies that take place in
Sure.
between. They have books. So when this movie came out, I was thinking like, I hope they don't ruin the story. But what was nice is they added different elements to the story that we didn't see, kind of like the Star Wars Shadow of the Empire series, where
Sure.
you had to play the video game, read the comic, listen to the soundtrack, and read the book to get the whole story. And
Okay.
and it's all from different sides, different perspectives. When you do that, you don't alienate everybody. You welcome everybody. It's great. All right, sorry. Do you have anything else you want to say, or are you good?
No, I mean, maybe after this pod that we're not going to ever share with anyone else in the world.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, on that note, thank you for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
Dun 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 dun. My name is Joel, and I'm done.
What's better than the video you just watched? The next one.